So we're gonna do a pour painting today, and I recently just finally got my butane torch. This is to get rid of the bubbles in your painting. I have learned from the best. Gina DeLuca is the one I always watch, so if you want to watch somebody that's really knowledgeable about this stuff, I would watch her, but this is just kind of my experience with it. Just to give you a little idea of what we're going to be doing today, this is a pour painting that I did. It was my first one, and it has a little bit of green, a little bit of yellow, black, and a little bit of blue, but you can't really see it because the opacity wasn't quite there. So I'm hoping that my strategy works better this time. Things that you will need today are going to be paint, your choice of paint. I'm using the Liquitex Basics. I'm also using one of these bad boys. You can get these at any hardware store. I wouldn't recommend getting a metal one. This one's like super shitty, but yeah, just get one from your local hardware store. You're gonna want to coat the bottom of the paint in a base color. It doesn't have to be black. It can really be any color you want to use. I use black and white because they're the big tubes that I have. So you're gonna want some Floetrol. You can get this stuff. It's basically pouring medium. It's what painters use, but it's cheaper, and you'll get the same cells with that as you will with regular pouring medium for like, I don't know, 1/8 of the price, because I think the Liquitex pouring medium is like 99 bucks. So along with the other items I mentioned, we're also gonna need these 9-ounce cups. You can get them at Walmart. They're cute, tiny little cups. Depending on the type of board you need, this is a 12 by 12 canvas board. It's already primed and all that good stuff. Anyway, so now we're gonna start with the actual paint. So I've already done this one, but I'll do a step-by-step of the next one. So it looks a little crappy, but that's my purple. So once we line the bottom, we're gonna be using our blue. I'm using 2 different blues. So I'm using the Liquitex Basics blue and the Craftsmart Royal blue. And I'm using both of these because the Craftsmart is a more opaque paint, and this one, it depends on the paints, but the primary blue I do not believe is really opaque. So I'm going to combine them in hopes that we get the sheen of the Basics and the opacity of the Royal Blue Craftsmart. So we're just going to go ahead and go ham in here. That's a thick squeeze. So I already squeezed in a pretty thick squeeze, and we're going to do it again. And do 1, 2, 3. Okay. So like fill. We want to try to have a good Floetrol to paint ratio. So don't worry about the Craftsmart. The Liquitex is what costs the most money. So we just want it to be opaque enough to where we can see it. Okay. So now we can add our Floetrol. You want to just go slow with the Floetrol. Like, I don't know if you can see it. I'll use a stick right to point to it. But you don't want it farther than this bottom line right here. Let's see, right there. So on the outside you can see where it like falls. You don't really want it farther than this line right here. Okay? But we'll add more and stuff and see where we need it. Okay, and we'll start to mix. Try not to mix so voraciously that you create a whole ton of bubbles. There will be bubbles anyway, but if you can try to avoid them, just try to. And you can always like pull this up towards the cup to get the paint off of, well combined. So yeah, so just keep stirring. And we'll do this for the rest of them too, so I won't even bother showing you that. I did end up putting a little bit of this metallic blue into the blue paint, and we'll see if that turns out really cool later. That's what it's essentially supposed to look like, so hopefully it does. So we start by adding this. You want a pretty good coat on there when you do it. Put on the base layer, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a separate cup, one that's completely empty, and some spots are thicker, some spots are thinner, so for better or worse, this is how bad I am at priming the boards, I guess. Okay, so now we're just going to fill the cups, and we're going to do it in an ascending order. You want to make sure to mix these all really well. You want a certain consistency. I'm never really sure if I've achieved that, but as you can see, I got a little shiny in that one, a little glitter, I added a little glitter to the black as well, so hopefully it'll give me a spacey type feel. That one has no glitter, but it's got a lot of bubbles. And then that's the red. Okay, so now we're back. I've kind of gradually been, well, it's already got paint on it, cool. Let's use now. Can't return. Okay, so now we're just gonna go over it one last time. Because I've never used a torch before, and because I don't want to burn myself, I don't know if I'm holding it close enough, but I assume that I am. You want to just try to get all the bubbles out. Okay, so now what we're going to do, I've just kind of added excess colors around here. Now I've waited like, I don't know, 3 minutes. I'm impatient. So now we're going to go and we're going to stretch it. And you're going to want to stretch it really, really slowly. So this is the final result, and I've gone over it with the blowtorch a couple more times. As you can tell, it's all dirty now. And so far, that's what we have. There's a nice little circular thing where you can see my pouring skills. And then I stretched it out. I've made sure to cover all the edges, because if you don't cover the edges, it'll look really gross. And I guess I'll bring you back when it's all done, and we'll see what it ends up looking like, okay? All right. In the end, this painting did turn out, but unfortunately, it's just too close to black when you hold it away from yourself. Pardon my messy bed. Or when you hold it in the dark at all. I don't know. It's nice, but it's really, really dark in person. Anyway, thank you for joining me on my adventure, and hopefully I'll see you again soon on the next one I do.